This project, I used a number 401 mum tip, a number 79 mum tip, a number 1270 rose tip, and 3 parchment triangle bags. You could use any size mum tip and really any size rose tip, depending on the size of your cake. Starting off with just a light blue iced cake. Now this could be, I use sky blue, but this could be a teal blue, or it could be even a lavender blue. I'm going to take just a touch of blue food coloring here. I'm going to apply it here to the edge of my drywall scraper, or what I'm using as my bench knife. I'm also going to add just a touch of white icing here. Now this is a method that Leah showed me. She actually did a rainbow cake like this. Take your bench knife and bring it around, and you're going to add that color into the side. Now the more that you spread it around, bring it around, you're going to blend that color in. Then I'm going to take it to the top here, scrape it off and start over. I'm going to add a little more blue here and a little more white, and then I'm going to bring it across the top, just skimming across the top. Then I can move my bench knife around, and with this I can come back and forth, and as I move my bench knife across, I'm working this color in so it has more of a look of water and a little bit more movement. Now you can come back in and add more, or you can take off and have less, so it really depends on what you want, but you don't want to swirl. You want more of a light movement. Now most of this is going to be covered by flowers and foliage. You don't have to work it too much, you just have to get it to the point where you like the coverage and the little bit of color. I'm giving you a close-up glimpse of the top, and you can see the swirls of color. So I've just got a bag with the tip cut off. You could use a number 4 writer here too. Just going to create a straight shell around the side just to finish off my edge, because I want to use the outside of my platter for flowers and vines. I've got another parchment here that I've striped with some lavender, some green, a little bit of blue, and white. And you just stripe it up the bag and kind of decide what proportions you want. And then I'm going to cut just a little bit of the tip off here. And I want to start dropping my vines. I want to decide where my largest flowers are going to go. Just kind of give myself a dot so I have an idea of where I want them. And then that way I can move my vines around from there. I'm going to start with these 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a line up and let it drop. I want big circles, small waves, and circles. So we don't want them all to go the same direction because we want this to be a little random, so we'll do it again here. Okay, I want to show you down here that I also want to bring some up the side, around like this, and down onto my platter. Some of them are just going on the platter like this, and some of those we'll add later. I also want to add some that are on the top and the bottom. So you just want to create a pretty design around the side. Don't do too many at first, let them have some separation. You can always add more later. Set my vine bag aside for a second now, and I want to go ahead and start with my lily pads. Now I've got a rose tip here, a large rose tip. This is a 1270. I've also heard them called a 1D, but what you need is any kind of a large rose tip. Now this is a 10-inch round, so I can use this great big one, but you could even use a 127 or even a 124 if all that's what you have. So basically what this is it's just a big, slow ruffle. Come all the way around using your turntable, slowly ruffle, and you want to leave the opening at the back. Now, I'm going to have two flowers here, one that actually is going to be more off to the side, and this one I may go ahead and use a little less ruffle, but I'm going to start this way, maybe a little flatter and maybe just a little smaller, because I want one main large lily pad and then the smaller ones. Okay, now I also want one here on the side, and that's going to be a little tougher. So I'm going to come from the top down in like this. See how my wrist is curved all the way around here? Begin to ruffle and bring my wrist around. I'm now going to have to stop right about here, adjust, and keep going. Just keep a light pressure and come around, and there you go. See, I've got one that even sticks up off the side. You can also create them where it's more like this. I'm going to come around from this side, start my ruffle and have it come down onto the plate. I'm going to need to stop, turn, get back in there, just put it into a fold, and come back up. Now again, you don't want to put too many of these pads down yet till you get your flowers on. You may want to add more, but I think right this second, this may be what I want. Coming back in now with my large mum tip in white. This is a number 401. It's one of those big ones that we used for our tulip cake. I want to just create a circle here so I know what I have to work with. It's not really part of the structure of the flower, but it gives me an idea of where my center is. I'm just going to pull, squeeze hard, and release. Get in there, build, squeeze hard, and release. That release is going to give you your point. Come back around this side. Release. Now this is the under flowers, under petals of our flower, and we're going to come back in with a smaller mum tip and a different color. I'm going to create a flower here on the side. Just want to show you that. Now creating the flowers on the side of the cake can be a little bit difficult. You have to be careful of your icing not being too soft and your flowers not falling off. You need to make sure you create an anchor. I'm using the anchor of my lily pad underneath. Okay, I also want to come around this side, and I want to create one that's more here, actually on the platter. What you see, you guys can really place these wherever you want. This one's actually going to hang off the platter slightly and give me even more of a 3D look. And I've got one petal that's just a little out of sorts there, and I'm going to go ahead and cover it up. I also want, I'm going to come back in. Remember I said we were going to use our vine tip again, so I'm going to add one more here, one more vine. I'm also going to come out underneath just like this, and here I want to create more of a bud. So I'm going to use my big 401 tip here, pull this out, just a little pad inside, and then come up and over that little pad. Just creating kind of a bud. Come back in here and pull up with 3. And we're gonna want these buds all around, a few at least. So come around, and you can also put these in later if you need to fill a gap. But put a few just for bounce. Remember your rule of 3. You always want to do 3, 1, 3, 5 or more that way, so that you're creating balance. Here I'm just going to come right up the side like so. Now let's move on to the center of our flowers. Next I've got a smaller mum tip. This is a number 79, smaller mum tip. And I've got a bag that I've striped here with some pink, some very pale lavender, and white. The overall effect is going to be fairly pale. So next we're just going to come in and go right over the top of our base petals. And you may have noticed that I wasn't super careful with those base petals, that they were really very even. They're mostly going to be covered up, and I kind of wanted them to be a little random. When I pulled up pictures of the lotus flower or the lily pad, I noticed that the bottom petals seemed a little more random. And I felt like I could get a little more of a realistic look by having them to be not so even. Now these I want to be very even. And my center petal I made just slightly smaller than the outer. So I'll show you one more time. And you can see here how I've got my striping gave me a darker edge on the outside than in the in. Really like that as well. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know I love color striping. Now I am actually moving my bag around. You could, of course, turn your turntable. That may be much easier for you. Like so. And you can see with my color striping as well that I'm getting, each flower is going to be slightly different as well. And I really like that in a design. So now we just need to finish up with our center, and I've got a parchment here filled with yellow, and of course I've got a stripe of pure color up the side, some white and some pale yellow, and I just want to nick the very tip off. I want these to be quite fine. Just going to come in here and just start to squeeze and pull these very fine stamen all the way up and around. And you can move quickly. It's just a squeeze, pull, and release. And the release at the top is going to give you your point. Squeeze, pull, release at the top. You get that really delicate stamen in the center that I think is so pretty inside a lily pad. And just keep going. This is going to take you just a little bit of time. But take your time and make them fine. If you squeeze too hard, you're going to get them too big, and you'll really lose the delicate nature of your stamen. I decided for balance that I really wanted just one more little flower here, and I'm going to do it with just the center color and much smaller, and it also will be just a little delicate surprise on really what probably will be the back side of this cake. So you can really do whatever you want here and add, do your planning, but add at the end whatever you think it needs. And you know with me, more is more. So there's just a sweet little flower there, kind of a little surprise.